Because back in the day, in the 90s, we would all drive SUVs with magnetic signs on our vehicle that said, we buy houses, that kind of stuff. So you could see all of us coming 6 miles away. And there was a group of us that had money, and we would all buy the properties, fix them, rent them, refinance them, and then go on to the next one. Because the adage back then, and it's still taught in many circuits today, is you want to cash flow about $150 to $200 per door if it's a single family, or per property if it's single family, or per door if it's multifamily, if you're creatively financing that. And that's what we all did. The more units, the more income. But what happened is you had a tiger by the tail, and it would spin out of control eventually because it's hard to manage and maintain that. And I'll never forget, the one advantage that I think I had over my investor peers is I came from another market there. And what I've seen through the years, not only when I moved to Texas, but having mentored and trained all over the country, is that a lot of people that have immersed themselves in a market and been really successful, they can't see market dynamics change. They can't see when the up is coming, the down is coming. They get immersed in the media and news reports, and sometimes they just don't think that there's opportunity. In fact, you've begun to hear people say that again in Las Vegas. We're almost back to our all-time highs. Inventory is shrinking. It's hard to find deals. How many of you have ever played the cash flow game? How many of you have played the cash flow game before? It's a good game. It's kind of like Monopoly on steroids. All right? I'm not being critical. These are part of getting your mind right. And I made that statement. I said, well, how many of you played the cash flow game? I said, how many of you are really, really good at it? And, the double hands wave, almost like a stadium where people up and down doing the wave. And then I said, how many of you have been able to translate from the board, i.e. the seats, to the streets? There wasn't as much enthusiasm. And then where I got myself in trouble, because I think an awful lot of Robert Kiyosaki, he's done a great job of getting people excited about financial literacy in the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. How many of you read that? If you haven't read it, you should. He also has done a great job for people like me, because you read that book and you get excited and you can't put it down. You read it from cover to cover and you get all the way to the end and you're like, well, what do I do now? And you realize it's kind of like a revival meeting where you got goosebumps on top of goosebumps, but if you don't know what to do, so your life's different on Monday, it don't matter. Now, if I hand you one of these, I got a limited amount, so this is not for making a paper airplane or stuff like that, balloon animals. Please don't. I have a limited amount. All right? John has a number back there as well. Ron and my sniper back there. There you go. Now, we've got some more of those.